Inland Sports.
And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. He is the new head football coach for the Banning Broncos, Jake Knesel. And Coach, first off, congratulations on another head coaching gig. I see you're already rocking the Banning colors, that green bee hat there. But most recently, you were with my boy Jeff Steinberg over at Beaumont. Little strange, a little weird, going across or down the freeway a little bit, joining Banning.
Yeah, it's been great though. Jeff's helped me in every step of the process, and he's been there and everything I could ask for him to be a mentor. He's followed through, and that was like one of the main reasons I wanted to coach at Beaumont. I saw the opportunity to work under a legend, and as good as advertised is what I could say, man. He's just been great in every aspect, and like I said, he's helped me in every aspect of getting this job, and really helped me throughout the interview process.
One quick follow-up question about Coach Steinberg, because you're wearing a green hat and it has a bee on it. I know Coach Steinberg all the way from his Burrows days, the Burrows up there, and he's won everywhere he's gone. He's done well everywhere. What do you think, if you could pinpoint maybe one thing or two at the most? Like, what's the one thing that maybe you're taking away from coaching with him that you're like, you know what? I want to implement that wherever I go next. Now we know it's Banning, but something like, man, when I become a head coach again, I got to do it this way. He's got it dialed in.
It's hard to only pick one thing, man. He does a great job in many things, but his organization is second to none. He's got the whole calendar planned out, months in advance, maybe even years in advance. Who knows? But his organization, the way he hypes up guys, he just does everything the right way, and I just want to carry that, and wherever I go, that was my mindset. Wherever I go, I'm going to take this, to the next level, and everything that he had, I stole as much, as much from him as I could. And that's what coaching is. You steal from the great ones.
Well, Coach, you were previously the head coach at Arroyo Valley. What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about coaching during your first stint as a head coach that you could either, do the same or maybe do differently this time around?
I learned that no one should be a head coach at 26. That is the main thing. Not the main thing, but man, I came in as a young kid thinking I knew everything, and went 0-10. So, we had some humble juice, but it was a learning process. I think we improved each year, and without COVID, who knows what would happen? I might still be there. It was just a crazy time, but I think the main thing I learned was you really got to, instill discipline in year one. One thing that I did is I really tried to get as many kids on the team as possible my first year there. And instead of trimming the fat, so to speak, I really just let a lot of kids stay. And I really should have, put the hammer down and got rid of some kids that just weren't following directions. And I was so infatuated with having, big numbers and having a sideline filled. And, year two, I learned my lesson. We made a lot of changes, and we saw some good things happen, but just every time I think back, I'm like, why? I did it because I wanted to win, and I ended up losing every game my first year. So I was like, okay, well, that obviously didn't work.
Well, Coach, here at Banning, you guys are in the Desert Valley League, and I know at some point they're going to split it up, so there's going to be two different leagues, and inside that. But when I look at those teams, Coach, and again, we don't cover those desert schools a whole lot, only, when Banning plays them, or maybe some non-league games when our teams in the IE head that way, or the desert teams come out here. But when I look at that league, it's wide open. Do you feel like, hey, we can go in there and make some noise like in year one? I feel like that league is winnable and competitive, and you guys could step it right in your first year as a head coach and, and make a little bit of noise with the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, you got to believe that, right? So I'm watching film. I have a lot of respect for a lot of the coaches out there, and they're practicing 120-degree heat, so there's going to be some tough kids out there. And I think Coachella Valley's done a great job over the past couple of years. I think last year they had a really good year, and I actually met their coach last week at the lineman competition at Beaumont. So great guy. He's got his program going in the right direction, and there is some really good teams in there. But I'm confident in what we're going to be doing, and I think with discipline, I think that's a huge word for us. With some discipline and leading the guys in the right direction, I think we can definitely make some noise.
Coach, a normal, non-football coaching person might look at the calendar and be like, "Oh, it's only the month of May. He's got plenty of time to get ready for the football season. He's got several months." But when you look at the calendar, are you like thinking already, "Man, we're way behind. We've got so much we want to implement and get done." And I don't know if you even have a coaching staff. I know you just recently met your players. Do you feel like, man, we've got to do a lot in a short amount of time before that first game against Big Bear?
Yeah, man. 3 weeks ago, I was coaching at Beaumont, doing spring ball. So I absolutely feel like we're way behind. But with that said, I think we can catch up. I think we're not going to really have a spring ball. We're going to 1 week starting here this week. We're going to get some time in the weight room and really instill, the culture in the weight room. And we're going to hit the summer running. So Bandy's got finals next week, so we're not going to be practicing at all next week. So we're going to get 1 week under our belts and then hit the summer. And, we're just going to really just hit the ground, man. It's going to be fun.
So, Coach, it wasn't too long ago that Banning, I think it was 2012 ish, that they had a pretty good team and they went pretty deep in the playoffs. But it's been kind of lean the last couple of years. How do you? It's probably not an easy question to answer, and it's kind of a loaded question. But how do you instill your culture? How do you instill in this program, in the community, and these players that, hey, we could be that team again. We can compete for a league championship. We can get to the playoffs. We can go deep in CIF. Like, again, it's if you figured that out, you'd probably be coaching, in the NFL at some point. But how do you do that? How do you change the culture and get back to the winning ways at Banning?
And so I live in Banning. So I see a bunch of people. I've been around the neighborhoods. I've been to the Little League Park. I've been to many places and just talking to people about the old days and how it was dominating and I love hearing the stories and I'm like, well, let's go, let's get it back. Um, like everybody I've talked to, from teachers to admin to other coaches, is discipline. I really think that everyone always says Banning has had talent. There's talent there, but they just are undisciplined and lose games because of that. And I'm not going to be stubborn. I'm going to listen. We are going to be disciplined. We're gonna trim the fat, and we're gonna only keep the guys that want to be in it for the right reasons and that are going to represent Banning the way they should. And I think in the past they kind of made the mistake that I've made before, and I've learned my lesson. So I think culture wise, we're going to kill it in the weight room. That's where it starts. Going to be really strict in the weight room, dress code, everything. And kids are going to learn. They're either going to jump on or they're going to quit. So I'm super excited about it.
I know you're a big, obviously, a lineman guy. Do you still feel like that's where it's going to be won? Do you still feel like, obviously, I don't know how much size you've got coming back. I know you just met your players, so who knows, how much size you have up front. But do you still feel like, hey, if we can control some stuff up front, we're going to give our team a chance to win some games?
Oh yeah, the game always starts and ends on the line. And man, when I was meeting the guys, I was looking a lot of guys in the eyes. You know what I mean? So guys,
That's good.
looking them in the eyes. So there's some size there, and there's some athletes, and there's a lot of really good pieces. Now it's just our job as a staff is getting everybody in the right direction, and get this thing rolling the right way, and get the guys to really buy into winning, and putting that work in, and having that championship mentality instead of that losing mentality. I think that's you know they get that, man, sky's the limit.
Well, the baseball team was pretty good. I know you're a baseball guy as well. Maybe get some of those baseball guys come out and throw the football or catch the football.
Yeah, so the one kid that I do know plays both sports. The third baseman also pitches, Marquise. He also is the quarterback for the team. So I met his parents. I went to a few baseball games this year. I had to be low key and act like before I was board approved. But yeah, so I met his parents and I met him, and so there I'd love to get more baseball kids out there. I when I was at Aurora Valley, man, we had a ton of success getting baseball kids out there. That relationship, the baseball to football relationship, isn't very common. But man, I had really good luck with that at Aurora Valley, and I look to continue that here.
Well, Coach Knesel, congratulations on the new gig. Very excited for you. And I know before you know it, man, it's going to be week 0 under the lights against Big Bear, which I think, if Max Preps is correct, I think that's a Thursday night as well at Banning High School. So, man, are you excited for that first one just to kind of get it off your chest and just get that first game done?
Yeah, man. Wish we weren't going against such a tough team.
Yeah.
But it's all good, man. those boys up on the mountain.
They're tough.
There are gonna be some tough kids, and it's always a big culture shock for guys down the hill. But it's a great test. It'll kind of let us know where we're at, and yeah, I can't wait, man. We have so much to do though. I don't even want to think about it, but yeah, this summer I can't wait.
Well, Coach Knesel, again, congratulations. That first game will be here before you know it, and really appreciate the time for you joining us here on the Inland Sports Show.
All right, Pep. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for clicking on this Inland Sports video. If you're a local business or an organization and you'd like to promote here on the Inland Sports Show, just send us an email, inlandsportshow@gmail.com.